We live in a world ruled by tyranny, where knowledge is suppressed and ignorance is glorified. A world where propaganda and misinformation travel the airways at the speed of lies. But in the midst of the violence and chaos, a great awakening is taking place. And as the media empires continue to collapse, a new network is forming. A network of truth, a network of courage, a network of awareness. Peace and greetings. You are now tuned into the Network of Awareness podcast radio station, where we examine current events, politics, health, finance, and topics of cultural relevance in America and throughout the world, while bringing you insightful interviews with guests that will both educate and inspire you. And now, your host of the Network of Awareness podcast radio station, Aura the Informationalist.
Yes, peace and greetings, people. This is Aura the Informationalist, and you're now tuned in to the live broadcast of the Network of Awareness. And people, I'm doing something pretty nice today. I'm doing a live simulcast on my TikTok account. So shout outs to all the people on TikTok that tune into the show. Those that don't know, you'll find out today for sure. Shout outs to all the people around the world that have been supporting, especially those in the United States of America, Canada, India, United Kingdom, and some of the other countries I'm going to mention in just a moment. So, brothers and sisters, today's episode is Struggles of Old Souls. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the struggles of the old soul. The old souls that are here are many of us that we feel like we've been here before. That's why we're so tired of this place. And many of us want to leave as soon as possible. And we understand that the world is not what it appears to be. So, we're going to talk about these struggles of the old soul. And we're going to give some shout outs to the peoples that have been supporting. And since we're closing out towards the end of the Gregorian calendar year, it's very important that we kind of reflect on some of the things that have happened here in the United Shenanigans of America. So, brothers and sisters, as I mentioned before, I'm doing a live simulcast with TikTok. So if anybody that follows me on TikTok, I'm actually doing a live. And this is the first time I've done this. I usually do this on Instagram, but I figured, with the TikTok platform growing, it'd be good to do the show with a live TikTok. The only thing is, when I do play music at the end, those that are on TikTok will be able to get to listen if they want to stick around to listen to some independent music like we play on the show. And shout outs to all the people that are following on Spreaker, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all the other networks. And like I mentioned before to the people on TikTok, I do have a chat room on Spreaker for anybody who wants to join the chat room on Spreaker, and you can basically ask your questions there for this particular episode. This is not going to be a long episode. Normally, I'll do an episode for 2. Sometimes I used to do 3-hour shows, but now I keep it under 2. And this show's not going to be too long because what I'm basically going to talk about is how many of us have been here before. And we're starting to understand this more and more as we do our research, as we start to understand ourselves more, and we really get to understand this experience because we're all spiritual beings, having a physical experience temporarily. And many of us struggle with this because we're old souls. We've been here before. We've experienced this type of propaganda before. And it's nothing new. Just like the scriptures say that there's nothing new under the sun. And there really isn't. There's nothing new under the sun. So we're going to talk about that today. But before we do, I just want to pull up and give a shout out to all the different countries that are supporting the Network of Awareness. And there's some new countries that have been supporting. So I'm not going to name everybody because it's a pretty long list. We're in over 50 countries right now. And that's not even including the United States. That's outside the United States. But I want to give a shout out to some of these countries that support the Network of Awareness because it's always important to recognize those who have been showing love. And what I mean by showing love is not just listening, but downloading the shows and leaving reviews, whether it be on Apple, Podchaser, or Spotify, or whatever platform. You can even leave a review on the website as well. So with that being said, let's start off with some of the newer countries, and then we'll work our way up to some of the regulars. But I want to give a shout out to Turkey, Russia, as well as the Netherlands. Shout outs to Nigeria. Nigeria, I noticed that y'all been on the scene for a little bit, so I appreciate all the support that y'all been showing me. Shout outs to Mexico, todo mi gente en Mexico. Shout outs to Lithuania. Shout outs to Kenya. Italy. Italy's back on the scene. They was gone for a minute. Shout outs to all my brothers and sisters in Israel. Shout outs to Kenya, Greece. Shout outs to the Dominican Republic. Shout outs to Czechia. And always, we always got to show love to Brazil. Brazil's been rocking with me for a minute. Australia's back on the map. What's interesting about Australia is that I've been shadow banning Australia since November of 2021. So whoever you are in Australia that's getting through, appreciate the support because they pretty much locked me out of that country. Shout outs to everybody in South Africa. Shout outs to Argentina. And of course, we can't forget Germany. Germany's always showing love. And then, of course, we got India that's been with us since the beginning, as well as Canada, been rocking with us for a long time. And then we got United Kingdom. United Kingdom's been with the Network of Awareness for a minute now. And then these are some of the places that are currently that have currently downloaded some of the new states throughout the United States. So we got 20 others that's not listed, but we have Virginia, Indiana, New Mexico, Rhode Island, Colorado, Alabama, Massachusetts. Shout outs to Kentucky, Tennessee. Shout outs to Idaho, Oklahoma. Shout outs to Yazan out in Oklahoma. Shout outs to Pennsylvania, as well as Washington, Missouri, Texas, Connecticut, Nevada, South Carolina. Shout outs to Chung out in South Carolina. Shout outs to Arizona. Shout outs to brother Aksakai from 101 with Aksakai. If some of you that are on TikTok, I have I have 3 other podcasts on my network, and there's another podcast called 101 with Foxakai, who's a brother that has a show on my network, and it's a great show about relationships and also about liberalism in the United States of America. Can't forget California. Shout outs to California, to all my brothers and sisters out there dealing with all the trials and tribulations out here in the United Shenanigans of America. Shout outs to New Jersey. Of course, my daughter Aura that lives out there. And shout outs to New York, BX, Brooknorm, Staten Island, Harlem, Manhattan, and the BX. And shout outs to Illinois. All right, Chicago and all the rest of y'all. Can't forget Georgia. Georgia's been showing love for a long time. And then the number one state, of course, where I broadcast out of here in the Tampa Bay area is the state of Florida. So shout outs to all the people in Florida because once again, Florida has become number one as far as listenership. And then shout outs to all the people that are tuning in and out on the TikTok live. For those that are just tuned in, we're going to be discussing struggles of old souls. And if that's the type of person that you are, that you feel like you're an old soul, if you've had people tell you that, I've had people tell me that since I was 5 years old. And I never forget, I got an interesting story to share that just kind of reminded me that it's a great possibility that I am an old soul. And I say that because I remember I got put into Catholic school when I got into the 7th grade. I used to go to public school, and then Mom Dukes came into some money, and she was with my step-pops, and they decided to put me in Catholic school, thought it would be better for me, so to speak, better education or whatever. And of course, my family, my mother wasn't big on Catholicism because she defected from the Jehovah's Witness religion when she was young, when she was about in her early 20s. So when she left that religion to go be with my pops, and they got together, my father's family, they were Christian, Roman Catholic, whatever religion, but they wasn't practicing it like heavy duty. So when I got put into Catholic school, it wasn't like it was big on religion for me to study, even though I had to, because that's what the school required. And I never forget, I think I was about 12 years old, maybe a little younger. Yeah, I think I was about 12 or somewhere around that age. So it was time to do my first confession at the school. And it was, during class, and we went to the church, and the Monsignor was in the pew or whatever you call that little booth where they got the curtains. And I remember saying, I'm not going to do confession. And the nun was like, why you don't want to, do confession? And I was like, because I know that Monsignor, or I think it was Father Devin at the time. I never forget him, Father Devin. I was like, I know that Father Devin sins way more than I do. So why should I go confess my sins to a man that I know sins way more than I do when I could just talk to God myself? This was my mindset at a young age. And of course, I got in trouble and all that. And they said they was going to call my moms. And, I wound up going in, saying my confessions. I was like, that I think I said I stole $5 from my mother's wallet. And what was interesting was, that's what I usually did just to go through the motions of confession, because I was like, this is some bullshit. This ain't real. But that was a confirmation for me later on in life to look back on and be like, how did I have that understanding? I wasn't taught that. I didn't have a mother that was teaching me, these types of things. So how is it that I knew that confessing sins to another man was not something that was right? And the reality is that it was that old soul. It was that I've been here before. It's that connection that you have that's in the blood, that's in the DNA, really. And it's that memory. Because I truly believe that we just exchange bodies in different lifetimes. And we are either sent here or we choose to come here in specific moments of existence, because we all know that time really doesn't exist. And all these different experiences that a lot of people are going through, and I know many of you have probably had these types of experiences where you start seeing things in a way where it just makes sense to you. And you know that everything in this world is based on a lot of lies. And when you start uncovering or dissecting the lie, it starts to bring you closer to the truth. And the final truth is the Most High. In my personal opinion, I think the final truth is the Most High, because that's where all the source of creation comes from. And, you have a lot of different scripts, a lot of different ancient books, including scriptures that talks about how, give me 1 second, people. It talks about how we are created in this image of light, which is our spiritual essence. It's been proven that the spirit weighs 22 grams. So when somebody passes away, 22 grams is basically leaves their body. Now, I've talked about this before, and that's the struggle of an old soul, is when you go through certain experiences that is not right. Like you just have this innate intuition, whatever you want to call it, but deep down into the core of who you are, you understand that something is funny, something smells rotten in Denmark. And a lot of people are experiencing that right now. And they're experiencing it in a way where there's a lot of people that are tired of this place. I'm one of them. Now, I've never tried to commit suicide, or there's been times when I've been tired of being here. But there's people that wind up committing suicide because they feel like they're tired of this place. They're tired of the run-of-the-mill experience of living a lie, of living an existence that they know is somewhat not right. And what winds up happening, some people get weak and they wind up, doing things to themselves. I had a nephew at 26 years old that wound up taking his own life. And I think part of it was because he just got tired. And I think that he opened up some doors that he couldn't close spiritually. Thing is, we'll never know, because, it wasn't like when he killed himself that he left a letter or something like that. But I truly believe that there was something inside of him where he was tired. And, a lot of other factors played into it, like him coming out the military and all that. And, he took his life. But what it did for me, as painful as it was, it really woke me up to the reality that if you're not pursuing your purpose, that old soul in you really gets agitated and gets tired very quickly. But when you start pursuing purpose, that old soul is not tired anymore. It's very much invigorated, because now it starts to remember why it came back here in the first place. And some people say that we're in this matrix, what I truly believe, and it's a matrix for the soul. But it's also a school for the spirit to learn so that it can ascend. And there's a lot of people right now that are old souls. Some are new, but mostly old, that are starting to go through that ascension process where they're starting to vibrate on a higher frequency. And you can just tell. Sometimes you look people in their eyes, which, a lot of people say it's the windows to the soul. And you start to see it within people out here. You start to see that there's people that they have a great understanding of who they are, and they have a great understanding of what they're experiencing, and then they have a great understanding of all the bullshit and the legacy of lies throughout this world, wherever they may be. And yes, shout outs to all the brothers and sisters on the live broadcast, those that are in the chat room. Shout out to all the people, like I said before, that's tuning in and out on TikTok. And y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a struggle because even for me personally, like, I get tired of dealing with the mundane bullshit that most of us have to go through just in order to exist here. A lot of times, and I remember, who was it? I think it was, I think his name is Robert Collier. He talked about how he had a conversation with these interdimensional beings from another planet. and this is the thing. When he first started talking about this, was in the late 90s or early 2000s. I think it was late 90s. But he talked about how he was talking to this interdimensional being. And I think the being was named Deus, and it was from the planet of Andromeda. And he gave this whole entire breakdown on the economic system throughout the world. And I think he said he spent 3 hours giving this presentation on economics to this being called Deus and another tall one. I forgot the name. I think they said the tall one was like 7 feet tall. And then the other being was like 4 foot something. And I think that's the one that was called Deus. And don't quote me on this, because I'm just paraphrasing the conversation the way he explained it. But after he gave this 2 to 3 hour presentation on economics and what's the whole purpose of it in the world, Deus said, I don't understand. And he's like, well, how do you not understand? I've been basically explaining this to you for the past 3 hours on how this all works. And then, of course, Deus was like, why do you have to pay to live on a planet that you was already born on? Woo. To this day, that statement alone, it reminds me of how it affected me at that time, because being an old soul, a lot of old souls look at the world like that. They're like, why the hell do I got to pay to live on a planet that I'm born on? Why do I got to pay for water? Why I got to pay for this? Why do I got to pay for stuff that grows out the ground? Why do I have to pay for something that falls out the sky? And a lot of us that are old souls, we get conflicted with this because we know that everything we've been taught since birth, once we start coming to the true to the true self, knowing thyself, we start to realize that this is some nonsense, especially when it comes to government and the way, this perception of what's considered authority. It's all nonsense. And now we're in a time right now where this one world order system is slowly but surely, gradually creeping up on us. And it's been happening ever since 2020, when the great pandemic happened. And that's when a lot of this is what triggered, in my opinion, this is what triggered old souls. It triggered them to be like, to wake the hell up and be like, oh, this shit is real. Like, they're really trying to kill us. And the whole plan for Depop that people like Bill Gates and the Tavistock Institute and many, many others that have been talking about for decades. That's when people were like, holy shit. They was like, oh, this shit is real. They're really trying to kill us. And that's been the pretty much the campaign ever since 2020. It hasn't stopped. And a lot of people are going along with this stuff. But you know who's not? You know who's not going along with it? The old souls. Most of the people that didn't take the science appliance, that didn't take that, that shibbity jab shot, that didn't take the vaccine. Most of the people that didn't take the vaccine, like myself, most people that didn't even get tested, like myself, I didn't have shit shoved up my nose, and I didn't have shit put in my arms. I think the only shot that I've ever gotten when I was younger was those tuberculosis tests that they put in your finger. Now, if I was vaccinated as a young child, I don't remember. But I know for the tuberculosis shot, the one that you get right here, I got that shot. The last one I think was when I was like about 12 or 14. But that's it. But all the people that didn't get anything shoved up their nose, that didn't get anything put in their arm, guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, they were old souls. Because the moment that they made that announcement, many people that are old souls was like, I'm not doing that shit. I don't care what happens. I remember last year, when was it? I think it could have been October, maybe even November of last year. I got some food poisoning that was so bad that I literally thought that somebody stabbed me in my stomach. And I thought I was going to die. This went on for like 2 days. So it was getting pretty bad. The food poisoning was horrendous. It wasn't like some 24-hour food poisoning shit. I don't know what I ate. And I think it could have been, I think at the time it was some Chinese food that my brother had bought for me. Now that I remember, yeah. I think it was some Chinese food. And boy, I must have ate a rat. I don't know what the hell I ate, but it felt like I had internal bleeding after I ate it. So this was going on for 2 days. And I remember that when it was going on, my family started getting worried. Had Mom Dukes, contacting me, asking me if she wanted me wanted to go to the hospital, wanted me to go. And this was the time where if you went into the hospital, it's guaranteed that they was going to try to hit you up with a test and then follow up with that test and hit you up with a vaccine. It was very rampant at the time. And I remember just being like, nah, I'm not going. And I said my prayers, I was praying a lot. And I made a choice. I was like, you know what? However this happens, I was like, I'm going to deal with it. And if I happen to pass away from this food poisoning, as bad as it is or whatever's going on, so be it. Because I'll be damned if I'm having anything shoved up my nose or put into my arm. And I was adamant on that shit. I was not going to the hospital. And it went on for like another day. And then I wound up calling a friend of mine that had edibles, and I ate a bunch of edibles, man. I had those gummies. Shit, I think I ate like 5 in one serving. So I already had like 300 to 500 milligrams in me. Then I ate like another 3 or 4 that same day. So I was lit up, with a bunch of THC and CBD. But you know what? That shit worked. And it put me into like a little bit of a fever. And then with the fever, I sweated a lot of the toxins out that was in that food poisoning. And slowly but surely, my stomach started to feel better. I was able to eat again. And then, of course, I didn't go to the hospital. But it's because of that old soul mentality that I was willing to die with that, whatever was happening to me, instead of going to the hospital and risking the chance of having some radioactive supposed cotton swab, which we know is not a cotton swab, shoved up my nose, and having some shit put in my arm that would have completely changed my whole entire structure of my biology and of my DNA turning into RNA. I was like, I'm not doing that shit. And all praises to the Most High that when I took those edibles, that the shit actually worked. Because I'll be damned, I was telling you, I was going to have to pass out before you catch my ass going to any hospital, especially out here in Florida, where they wanted to jab everybody up. Everybody and their damn mother, they wanted to jab up. But it didn't happen. But let me ask you people, for those that are tuned in on TikTok, everybody else that's tuned in on Spreaker, let me ask you, brothers and sisters, do you feel like you've been here before? Do you feel like all this stuff that you're experiencing is not new to you? Do you feel like it's old? Do you feel like some of this stuff you've already experienced before? Do you get a lot of deja vu moments? Do you get a lot of visions of seeing yourself doing certain things? Have you ever gotten to deep prayer meditation where you start seeing yourself doing certain things in the past? I'll give you another one of how I had a vision through a meditation, and I was deep in meditation, just clearing my mind and allowing my spirit to just be free of any thought. And I remember that I had this, I guess it was a vision in this tranquil meditative state where there was these shadows of people where I could see their body, and they were like regular human beings, but they were, they weren't clear, and they were all beside me, carrying me on this type of gurney. And it was in Egypt. I could tell it was Egypt because I saw pyramids. And then all of a sudden they're walking with me, and I can see that as I'm laying back and I kind of lift my head up, and they're all quiet, and they're like pulling me on this gurney. And then all of a sudden this doorway, like this, part of the pyramid starts opening up and coming up. And then they take me and they start putting me into that pyramid. And that's all I remember. And then I woke up from that meditation. But that was just another time where I'm like, I've been here before. And then when you start seeing how a lot of these pyramids and what we thought was Egypt, a lot of that has already been in America. And now studies and research have come out that America was actually the first Egypt. So then you start realizing, you're like, shit, man, there's so much we don't know. Then you start thinking about all these different experiences that you've had from a young age. And you start to wonder, like, why is this happening? And this is what a lot of people are going through right now ever since the pandemic happened, because I feel like, or should I say, I think that when the pandemic, and this is just my opinion, this is from my perceptions, I think there was a shift in the level of frequency when it comes to that. There was a schism once again where it really shifted things. And I feel like this whole talk about us ascending or going into fifth dimension started happening at that time. Now, it could have been in 2012, like a lot of people think, and that's very well could be. But I think in 2020, especially March, I think that thing started happening a lot. A lot of people started just waking up. And a lot of people started waking up in their homes. Something happened to them where they was able to have quiet time with themselves. Because that's really what happened. A lot of those old souls that are out here, they stopped they stopped functioning in a status quo lifestyle. That run-of-the-mill hustle and bustle, where's my next dollar going to come from? Punching in, punching out of work and all that shit. All that shit came to an end, came to a big halt. And what happened was a lot of people started having that alone time, and they started thinking. They started processing things. They started meditating, even if they didn't even know what meditating was. They just started really questioning things. And slowly but surely, a lot of people was like, all this is nonsense. I need to really be living my life to the fullest. So a lot of people started living their life to the fullest. A lot of people quit their jobs, started doing different things. A lot of people started traveling. I mean, you name it, people started ascending spiritually. People started realizing that everything they believed in and everything they thought to be true was a bunch of bullshit. And that they were going to take accountability and responsibility to start figuring out this thing called life and figuring out what's really the purpose of why they're here, opposed to what they're told or were told on why they're here and what they're meant to do. Because before this pandemic, there was a lot of people that thought shit was just cool the way it was. They thought this shit was normal. And then what they hit you with, they was like, well, we're going to give you a new normal. And that's when a lot of people said, wait a second, new normal? So the other normal wasn't normal? And then they started realizing like, nah, it's not. It's not what you thought was normal before wasn't normal at all. This whole entire experience, especially for those that live in the United States is filled with so much propaganda, people. I mean, the propaganda here in the U.S. is sometimes could be overwhelming. It really can. But at the end of the day, we're here for a reason. And there's a lot of people that are starting to understand what that reason is and why we're here in the first place. And it's a beautiful thing to see, man. When I interview a lot of people on my show, it's wonderful to see people fulfilling their purposes. And it doesn't just have to be one purpose. It could be a multitude of purposes, but they're doing it. And it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to watch. So the struggles we go through as old souls is that we're like when children are playing with their blocks and they have like a square, they have a circle, and they have a triangle, and they have to fit them in the slots, right? Many of us old souls, our struggle is that we're the circle. We have this universal spirit, and we're trying to fit in to a square. And it just keeps hitting, and it doesn't work. And that's what a lot of us are going through. We're trying to fit into a square peg when we're a circle, and it just doesn't happen. So, oh, okay. So, looks like I can invite people. So, anybody who wants to come on to the live broadcast on TikTok, definitely let me know. I didn't know I can have people come on here while I'm doing the live broadcast. But let me invite some people that just came on. Give me a second here. I got 1, 2. Who else? 3. All right. Yeah. So I didn't know that people can come on here. I'm still new to the TikTok thing, people. So bear with me. I'm gonna have to do some reading to find out all the little nicks and knacks of the live on TikTok. But for those that are tuning in, just think about it. What I'm saying is, don't get upset. Don't get discouraged. Fulfill your purpose. Get an understanding of who and what you are as a spiritual being having a physical experience. Now, if you're the type of person that you see yourself as a physical being, and you just think that, hey, this is what it is, and that's it, and you look at things in a very, just like you just go with what other people tell you, and you're one of those people that you got to see to believe and all that other nonsense, you already lost. You are the soon-to-be automatons in the world. But for the old souls, and some of the new ones too, that just have this very distinct understanding and have awakened to the bullshit here, you guys are going to be okay. And I can tell you that as much pressure that they're placing on us to conform to the propaganda, they're not going to win. And like the scripture says, Satan already lost. Satan already lost the war. He just looks like he's making some major strides and achievements within the battles. But the battle has always been for your soul. And the reason is because each and every one of us, independent of each other, but also collectively, serve great purpose. And our souls are priceless. Our souls are valuable in ways that can't even be explained. It's ineffable. The more we get to understand that, the better we can be at making our contributions while we're here in the physical form, not only to learn, but also to teach and also to share that beautiful everlasting light that's within us and collaborate with each other within that light. Because when we do that, the force of the Most High, that beautiful everlasting light, it's hard to stop. It's hard to get it confused. It's hard to block it. And that's why there's such a major campaign for division. Because division is what keeps all of the legacy of lies relevant, and it keeps it going. It keeps people serving this evil agenda. It keeps people wanting to, believe in the legacy of lies, which gives life to the lie. And I talk about this a lot. The only way these demons can get the best of you is if you allow them to. So, We're about 44 minutes into this broadcast. And since this is a live show, I do play music. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to play a little bit of music for those that want to tune in on TikTok. I'm going to play it on my speakers. I'm going to mute my mic here. And then I'm going to close out the show. And then we're going to be right back with this Struggles of Old Souls. And this is just the first episode. This is not going to be the last on Struggles of Old Souls. And I'm definitely going to have some people come on for these type of shows because it's important that we talk about this. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, let's take an intermission and listen to some music here. So give me a second while I set up my speakers here. And we're going to get it popping.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
Don't you get rid of this, consider this, ay. Don't you get rid of this, consider this, ay.
upright. When your pants falling and you sipping on lean. Can't even go a day without Mary. Stuck in a web of dejection. Billboard stars twisting your conscience up like a wind-up toy. Got your daily problems all bottled, but you try to cap it with a pill. Reveling views for the thrill, an escape to remove from the real. Is it really cause you in peril, or it's a mimic Hollywood? Sip after sip, snip after snip, you're killing yourself, can't see it's draining your soul and taking a toll. Don't take it from me, tell him JB.
My spirit was dead, clouded with haze. I was chasing a high, labyrinth mind, numbing the pain. Stuck in a cycle I wish I had closed. I look at my wounds, open as torture, but it's too soon. Another excuse, I was addicted. Capital E, evicted out my own body, had no control, passenger seat. I was out for a ride and I noticed that the ride won't end. Had to jump out that car, took a leap of faith. Too attached, had me crash, got up leaning, and I got out scarred. Most High saved my life, he cut them demons down. He healed me all around. So I'ma tell you right now, this world ain't worth it, no. Those drugs ain't worth it, no. Don't lose your purpose, whoa. Yes, I'm talking to you, children. Listen to your parents now while you have them. Especially hold fast to their words when they talking about Messiah. Consider this a warning now.
Here we are back again, about to drop some facts again. Yahweh's word spreads like a fish's net for capturing those with an ear to listen, those who paid attention, those who stand bold like a soldier with their convictions, not quick to fold or throw in the towel when under pressure. They walk it like they talk it, they live the message, but depression's what most folks are facing. They got the vaccination, we in zombie land, pretty soon we gon' have to dance. Better keep that sword in your body, fam, place this far from pain. Babylon will bring down and blame, some debts are better off real slow, so you can witness the pain. You tortured slaves, 400 plus years of pain, hung brothers up in the trees, swinging for days and days. Now this is your end of days, you looking so disarrayed. Try to cover your ears, but the truth still gon' penetrate. The hatred is strong, but races still want to imitate and integrate. Only Yahweh's chosen holy nation can ever be this great.
Yahweh's amazing. Before I eat, I'm saying my graces. I pray for knowledge and wisdom and peace. We dwell in greatness. 144,000 frequencies and vibrations. So don't give me amped. Go take a hike and camp like concentrations. Pull up my pants and send my genes to elevate genetics. I'm concentrating, no recess to dominate recessives. No car insurance, the way I swerve, they be like impressive. Stephanie Courtney know my flow is looking more progressive. My aura is a network full of awareness and gifts like Aura, the informationalist. Shout out my brother, take one. All these chances in life, don't hesitate and wait to take one. We are the true Jews, about to take off. Hitler knows we don't play soft. I pull up and let like 8 off. Watch a demon head splatter, give me back my platter that y'all just ate off.
Yo, remember what we talked about building something special as 1/3? Well, I feel like we're finally here. A righteous Wall Street, bro. Yes, sir, let's get it.
All praise to the Most High, this is only the beginning. Righteously preparing, raising our awareness. The social engineering, just faithful forbearing. Salute to those faith in it, kings and queens creating it. That's people awakening, 2/3 be forsaking him. 1/3 keeps on praising him, putting all my faith in him. Most people be faking it, munching on some bacon bits. Ignorance remains in bliss. In this life I came to win. Righteousness I'm living in. Truth is the enlightenment. Yahweh's the embodiment of peace and redefinement. Elohim is in the science, we'll grown out for lions. Raising the horizons, frequency just heightens. Spirit always brightens, no fear can ever frighten. A man on a mission, living out his visions. Truth to the tradition, gaining all the wisdom. To be freed from the prison, transition with God's mercy. With the early worthy, realist, righteous visionaries.
Trapped in a world, but they don't want how you learn. No, you learn. No, they want everybody the same. They don't wanna see that proper growth and development. Expanding my brain so I can learn what I can. All because of how you learning. Learning knowledge that I never thought I would. You get me, yeah, cause of how you learning. They don't want nobody having that knowledge. Waking up in a different light, got my mind right. It took me time and time just to put it together. You know you not learning nothing when you second guessing. Because it all lies. They put us in school for 12 years plus. Got the nerve to give us a paper certificate. I've been watching quite some time. Finally that I see what's going on. Every time that I lay down, yeah, I feel, yeah, sad.
I'll start out my morning run about 6 o'clock. Not like I got a choice. It's just it's rough.
Trapped in a world, but they don't want how you learn. No, you learn. No, they want everybody the same. They don't wanna see that proper growth and development. Expanding my brain so I can learn what I can. All because of how you learning. Learning knowledge that I never thought I would. You get me, yeah, cause of how you learning.
Remember 6 a.m. waking up to get to class. Now it be 5 a.m. I'm rising up to hit them laps. School never taught me to be this disciplined with myself. All praise to Yahweh, been Yahweh helping me with my health. The spirit keeps me up even though we all packed in the jungle. The elites be lying, they want you mentally trapped in a bubble. You see them smile on TV, always acting like they love you. Don't wanna see you rise up, they wanna see you ash and rubble. I keep my acts in humbleness in hopes that the Lord will favor me even more. Cause he's the one that has my number. He's been my guide, he's made me wise. He's all I know until the end, I'm gonna grind. Looking up to the sky, trying to stay righteous with the storm on my side. The crown of life is my why. I'm asking Father, please help guide me to the light.
Trapped in a world, but they don't want how you learn. No, you learn. No, they want everybody the same. They don't wanna see that proper growth and development. Expanding my brain so I can learn what I can. All because of how you learning. Learning knowledge that I never thought I would. You get me, yeah, cause of how you learning.
Yeah. Yeah. Make sure every day you do your own research, you seek out the truth, you stand in your truth no matter what. Yeah. Shalom. Let's get it. Use your own mind, be your own man. Use your third eye, gotta take a stand. Always walk by faith, fuck man what they say. Just always be you. Keep on seeking. I had no choice, I had to make it. All them chances I kept taking on myself. All within, higher self, I channel him. Yahweh guided me, how can I lose these niggas fools? Taking COVID jabs, I see right past the hokey doke. This shit the joke, just keep your third eye woke. Cause they will try to sleep you, but my vibration rising higher. Gonna fly, the wings are spreading, now I'm flying. Government spying, they trying to kill you off. One by one, agenda 21, 22, they keep hiding the truth. Open up your eyes, stand in your truth. Open up your eyes, keep on me and you. Open up your eyes, stand in your truth. Open up your eyes, just keep on me and you. Use your own mind, be your own man. Use your third eye, gotta take a stand. Always walk by faith, fuck man what they say. Just always be you. Keep on seeking truth, growing, awaken, vibration raising. I'm flowing toxic energy, I'm shedding, seeing everything with my third eye. You can't relate if you sleep, you a sheep. You can't see what's going on in front of you. You hypnotized by the TV. This shit getting crazy, pushing agendas. The truth is constantly hitting you, forbidden from waking up anybody. When you do, they silence it. Only way to get ahead is sell your soul. Once you jump down the rabbit hole, can't turn back. Open up your eyes, stand in your truth. Open up your eyes, keep on me and you. Open up your eyes, stand in your truth. Open up your eyes, just keep on being you. Use your own mind, be your own man. Use your third eye, gotta take a stand. Always walk by faith, fuck man what they say. Just always be you, keep on seeking truth. Use your own mind, be your own man. Use your third eye, gotta take a stand. Always walk by faith, fuck man what they say. Just always be you, keep on seeking truth.
Satan's favorite gateway because music can be a demonic portal. What I mean by that, you know, everybody knows the popular quote, what goes in must come out, all right? Because whatever you feed your mind and soul
You
is
are now
going to
tuned
eventually
in to the
reflect
network of
back
awareness.
to your thoughts.
It's a fight to the finish, just like Tyson and Silas. The spirit guides me to finish. To touch you, I hope you feel it. No doubting that's for the pigeons. Fist right to the villain of evil, manipulating this generation of children. Things I see in the media got me heated up. Girls barely in their teens used for pedophilia. Celebrities simply misleading them. How can you live with yourself knowing damn well that you deceiving them? Feeding them nonsensical bullshit for their mental, like it's cool to be famous when you know it's detrimental. Y'all convince them that it's hard work, dedication, and God. Last time I checked, we give all our praises straight to Yahweh. Hey, come on, the music is more than just vibes. It keeps us pushing forward every day of our lives. It's my 9 to 5 to do it and do it right. You know I gotta stay on the grind.
If deception was the only way that I could reach the me, I would stop rapping in a heartbeat. Music is a way of praising Father Yahweh Elohim, but Babylon tells you chase the dream. Infinite songs, but only 1/3 of it is living up to what it's supposed to be. Thank Elohim for the remnant who understands the power of music.
The fear of COVID got people so petrified. In one's life lies out and Satan choose a side. A lot of righteous haters try to play both sides. They lack faith and work so spirit stays penalized. I realize life is hard without the Most High, and he who knows there's much to learn is really wise. Mad grateful to be alive to see the sun rise. Try to stop my vibes, I'm exercising swords and arms. I'm in my prime, righteously prepared to shine and grind. So shock and surprise every time you analyze my rhymes. Cause all is aligned with stars you can't even find. I spit that light that leaves chills up and down your spine. You coulda, woulda, but didn't. Who you kidding? And my fans frontin' forbidden. Who the fuck is you fibbing? You better think twice before you think I'm tripping on y'all children. If you feel hard, then we gonna make you hard of hearing.
If deception was the only way that I could reach the me, I would stop rapping in a heartbeat. Music is a way of praising Father Yahweh Elohim, but Babylon tells you chase the dream. Infinite songs, but only 1/3 of it is living up to what it's supposed to be. Thank Elohim for the remnant who understands the power of music.
Feel like music influences your behavior or people's behavior?
If you allow music to do it, it's a difference. You know, like I said, there's people out here who could consume music one way and not, well, at least they feel that they're not affected by it. There's other people who live their life through music. Like anything that certain artists say is Bible to them.
Soldier, whole star steep as an ocean.
He chosen focus, devoted to get a crown in the road with it.
Road is narrow and focused, you can tell by the way in which he flows with it.
None of these rappers, y'all opposes a lost soul in them.
Holding them all accountable for the music controlling them.
Countless of hundred thousands of soulless people supporting them.
Righteous music accounts, most folks won't go to them.
Don't worry about it, cause Yahweh knows who the chosen is.
Shalom to them for constantly dropping projects for y'all to spin.
Food for the spirit, once you hear it, now you confident.
Daily battle, fighting hard like we in a boxing gym.
Babylon ain't looking tall no more, she needs oxygen.
Got the wind, still got motions floating that we got to live.
Positive, roller coaster, corporate, watch cooperative.
Jab now, cry later, just not with the consequence.
Zombies swelling in the dark, my direction where Yahweh is.
Destined for greatness, but not the kind that you thinking of.
Pointless being famous in a realm that the demons run.
Yet, you still got takers who making vibrations.
Elated egos and cadences leave you feeling all vacant.
Cause Satan takes them and breaks them and makes them look real amazing.
They gaze and phase in the matrix, embracing the fake and awaken.
The cake and bake it. Temptation, persuasive to change your foundation. If Yahweh in your brain, you'll end up this confabulation.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
In one's life lies out and Satan's truth inside. In one's life lies out and Satan's truth inside. In one's life lies out and Satan's truth inside. A lot of righteous haters try to play both sides. In one's life lies out and Satan's truth inside. In one's life lies out and Satan's truth inside. In one's life lies out and Satan's truth inside. A lot of righteous haters try to play both sides.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
They know I got the 9 on me.
Yeah, you know I got the 9 on me.
It's time to ride or die, homie.
Yeah, it's time to ride or die, homie.
Man, this how we survive, homie.
Yeah, this how we survive, homie.
That's why I keep the 9 on me.
Yeah, you know I got the 9 on me.
This word is for the wise, either ride or you gon' die. It's the blind leading the blind, we been fighting for our rights. Now we fighting for our life, still no light I see inside. But I see the light inside and pray I don't go out my mind. I got a 9 in my hand and a couple of bullets. All I need is a reason for me to load it and pull it. There goes one in the shoulder, another one in the leg. Gotta finish the job and put another one in his head. I was told it's him or me, I'ma live to see another day. Killer do the killing, I don't see it any other way. People do the talking, I don't care what motherfuckers say. Keep your social distance or you getting blown the fuck away. No more Mr. Nice Guy, I gotta be the bad boy. I'm on high alert, I got all of you niggas paranoid. I'm way too much at peace for you to ever bother mine. That's the bottom line, cause we all live in a moral time. The 9 on me.
Yeah, you know I got the 9 on me.
It's time to ride or die, homie.
Yeah, it's time to ride or die, homie.
Man, this how we survive, homie.
Yeah, this how we survive, homie.
That's why I keep the 9 on me.
Yeah, you know I got the 9 on me. Do or die till I die, homie. I leave a nigga paralyzed, homie. What you know about the 9 on me? With that 45, feel like plies, homie. I look up at the sky like I'm the guy, homie. Got him grinding off the muscle you supply for me. What you know about your bestie trying to ride on you? I ain't never tell, bitch, I define loyal. That type of upper shit just make my blood boil you. How you hate me after all the shit I done for you? Now I'm forced to get my head right, but that's kinda hard with you to dodge death twice. Respect life, but this ain't a show, I'm dead nice. I'm the one that could bring us to the next fight. Shed light over everything bad, I'm the one with a gun, it's a tech bite. Blah.
Arms on, legs on, chest on, heads on, arms.
now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
Life is an unpredictable and amazing journey. Our ever-changing conditions within today's society and the constant new trends influencing cultures can become overwhelming, to say the least. But no worries. The Network of Awareness podcast radio show brings peace of mind in these challenging times. Follow us on your favorite podcast listening app and join our community of Network of Awareness at networkofawareness.com. Yes, we are back, people, for this live broadcast of the Network of Awareness, Struggles of Old Souls. And like I said, this wasn't going to be a long broadcast. I hope you enjoyed the intermission of music. And we're going to close things out. And like I said before, this is going to be the first installment of Struggles of Old Souls. I'm definitely going to have some guests for these particular episodes of Struggles of Old Souls. And we're going to have a couple people come on in the future. So definitely stay tuned for those shows. We have a Narcissism series show coming out tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. It's going to be a pre-recorded show. It's another show with Mary Israel, and it's a second installment to No More Benefits for the Doubts. And that's on the Narcissism series. So that show is going to air tomorrow at 7 a.m. So you'll be able to download it after that time. From my people in the West Coast, it'll be available to you at 4 a.m. So you get it as early as possible. That way, when you travel into work, you can listen to it, or when you're working out at the gym or whatever you're doing. So thanks to all the people that tuned into this live broadcast on Spreaker. Thank you and salute to all the people that tuned in here and there that came in and out on TikTok. I'm still learning how to use the TikTok live app. So I know with time, just like with anything, I'll get better at it. But for those that did get to tune in on TikTok and listen to the whole show, peace, love, and light to y'all. And like I always say, let me put on my theme music here. People, when you live in the present, there's always an opportunity for a new beginning. So don't look for the light at the end of the tunnel, because the light is and always will be within you. So light up the tunnel and find your way through the darkness. This is Aura the Informationalist, saying peace, love, and light, Barakatah, and all praises to the Most High. Because without the Most High, we wouldn't exist. Until tomorrow, people, shalom.